You're listening to the Hookit Podcast, brought to you by hktpodcast.co.uk.
60% of the time, it works every time.
How does Danny Hart sit down with balls that big?
That doesn't make sense.
Look at the speed of him, bro!
Getting Simon's going big.
Going huge.
He can't make it 4 in a row.
Foot out, flat out for him.
Here he comes then. Look at the time, man! Danny yes! We're going streaky! Yes!
What's going on, podcast fans? We're back with another episode. It's Wednesday, the 23rd of November, and this is a big one. It was awesome for Danny Hart to reach out and say he listened to the podcast and he kind of wanted to be on here. So it's astonishing to have Danny Hart, current world downhill champion, obviously on the podcast. It's been a bit of a crazy week, to be fair. We've had a lot going on over at Hookit. We just took delivery of the new Sensus Swayze Light grip, so that's been taking up a fair amount of time. It's an amazing grip. If you haven't seen it, head over to our website and take a closer look. It's obviously hktpodcast.co.uk. Also, I'm not sure if everyone out there has already seen it, but we have set up some separate social media outlets for the podcast, just because things were getting a little bit busy and crazy over on the Hookit one. So if you head over on Instagram, we're now at _Hookit_podcast. So head over and give us a follow. There's also going to be a chance this week to win a set of Danny Hart signed goggles. So you have to be following us. So head over and give that a follow. The same on Facebook. Just search for the Hookit Podcast. And we'll be putting up the giveaway over on there too. So yeah, there's going to be a chance. I'm guessing it's going to be Sunday evening. We're going to post a photo. It's going to be some sort of either a quiz or something, and you can win a set of Danny's signed goggles. I know we've got a few American listeners, so happy Thanksgiving to you guys. I know that's coming up. It'll be tomorrow, Thursday, 24th. And I think that's about it. I mean, again, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone that listens to this podcast. I noticed a few iTunes reviews this week, which were really nice. Some 5-star reviews, people giving us some props, which is really nice. And if you can do that, it really helps the show build. It'll hopefully have us creep up the iTunes chart a little bit, so it gets seen a little bit more and helps this wonderful sport to hopefully get noticed. So please, if you can do that, just head on to iTunes and give us a review. And I guess the same across the social media networks. If you do enjoy this episode, it's always nice to hear your thoughts and your feedback. To just drop us a comment or tell us it's crap. I don't mind, whatever. All feedback's good feedback. So if you can do that, that's amazing and it's much appreciated. I'm going to get on with the show now. It was awesome to sit again and have a chat with Danny. It looks like pre-season preparation is going really good for him. And there's also some other stuff in there about Descend Hamesterley, which you guys wanted to know about. So again, thank you ever so much for listening. Thank you for sending in your questions for Danny, and hopefully you'll enjoy the episode. So without further ado, let's welcome onto the show Danny Hart. All right, the button has been pressed, dude. We are officially live. So yeah, thanks a bunch, Danny, and welcome to the show. Thank you very much.
No, thank you for having me. I always listen to the podcasts when I'm driving and stuff, so it's good to do one myself.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. So obviously when we spoke on the phone, I think it was last week or something, you said you listen to podcasts anyway. Is it something that you listen to just when you're hanging out and driving, or?
Yeah, like I do a lot of training, like on a watt bike in the garage and driving, and not so much in the gym lifting and stuff like that, but training, driving. I've always got some of that. I just get bored listening to the radio, and a bit of a motocross super fan, so
yeah, me too, dude. I'm gonna come back to some moto tracks. I think it's pretty important as it's silly season at the minute.
Yeah,
there's a lot happening, so yeah, we'll definitely come around to that. But same for me there. I mean, the reason I kind of started this, as we were just saying before, is because there wasn't really anything like this happening. So, and I listen to podcasts like all the time. I drive a lot, obviously, with my job, and I'm constantly listening to motocross stuff or whatever, whether it's Joe Rogan or like I don't know, training stuff and whatnot. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start one. And I thought about it for like 2 years. And then slowly but surely, it's kind of taken off. And it's pretty incredible. Like, I was just saying to you before, like, having you on is rad because it's kind of where I want to get it.
Yeah.
And the fact you reached out was bloody awesome. So, yeah, again, appreciate it.
Now, what's good is, like, if you're driving along, you can, like, listen to stuff that you want to know about instead of stuff that is just rubbish, like...
Yeah, instead of Trump
video
and
porn or capital, all that rubbish stuff. It's like in America with satellite radio, you can drive along listening to the radio and it's quite fun stuff, but you don't really have that here.
No, I know. Isn't it a shame that we don't have, like, a serious radio or something so you can, like, listen to good music and stuff? It's pretty limited, I think. I know in my van I don't have a digital radio. I'm not that posh yet. So
I have a digital radio in the camper, but it's still not the same as over
there. No. So yeah, cool. Right. Let's kick this off with. I want to kind of get into. Obviously, it's off season, I guess, for you now. I know you just started training again. I've been stalking out your Instagram a little bit, trying to find out a bit more info. But like, what does the off season kind of usually entail for you?
Yeah, so after the season finished for me, which was World Champs in Val di Sole, I drove home, which was like, it's really quite brings it home that you're just a bike racer driving home.
Right.
And like, I'm driving home in the camper and I'm like, you wouldn't believe that I was racing World Champs yesterday and I won and like out last night, and then now you're just back in the van driving home.
Yeah.
Which is quite funny. And then, so we get home, and I was home for a couple of days, and then a big crew of us from up north, like all lads from Newcastle and stuff like that. We went out to Whistler for a couple of weeks just riding for fun, and I believe that's always good for me, like after riding all season and you're racing, and that's not really the reason that we started riding bikes, you know. We started riding bikes because it was good fun and it was a good laugh with your friends, and so I went over there for a few weeks, well, like 10 days, 2 weeks, something like that. But then my friend Scott Mears snapped his leg and ended up in hospital, and that was a bit of a bummer, but he's alright now. He's back home and healing up, and that was good. The weather wasn't so good, but over there in Whistler, you go in the height of summer and it's bone dry and everything's so blown out, so to go there when it's raining a little bit isn't always a bad thing. No. And then I came home from there. Then I went to Portugal with my dad to do some track days in Portimao on an R6.
Oh, really?
Which my dad's done road racing and track days for a lot of years now, and it was a bit eye-opening for me because I was like hoping I could just go over there and pretty much get straight to it.
Right. Be the next Valentino Rossi or something.
Be up to at least as good as my dad, but I soon found out that years of experience on his part was helping him massively.
Oh, really? It's something that I've always wanted to have a go at a track day or something. Obviously, I'm from like a motocross kind of background anyway, but a road bike's something I've never even had a go at. But everyone I've spoken to says it's way harder than it looks. I mean, like everything, but like it's super hard.
What's mental is you think you're going really well, like you get your knee down and you're like, oh yeah, I'm flying, but and then people just blow past you like you're not even moving.
So you got that out of the way, a bit of sun, riding bikes, motorbikes, and then back to dreary old England, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I guess so. Then you come home and I never just put my bike away and don't ride it. But like this time I've been home and the weather's sucked and it's just grim, isn't it? It's really like every winter it starts to wear on me even more. Like at one point, like I would never really want to go away because after I've travelled all season, I just want to be at home and ride like locally. And but now like every winter it like draws in. Like I don't really want to be here anymore because the weather's so rubbish.
It is pretty bad. Is there any like temptation to just go training somewhere else for a
few
months?
I never want to go away for months at a time because I have my own place and a girlfriend. I have lots of friends and stuff that I don't see all the time. But I'm going away for a few days here and there. Like, I go to Spain at the weekend and do a few days in the good weather there, riding.
Okay.
But no, I never really like to go away for ages.
Yeah, like you say, once you've had a full race season too, you kind of want to get settled back home for a bit, don't you? To see everyone and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's it.
I can imagine that World Cup schedule's pretty grueling sometimes.
Yeah, well, with me going away in the camper, which some people don't really understand why, but I go in the camper and I'll be away for a few weeks just travelling around in the camper, and that's just because I like my own space. Like, I don't like going in hotels from bed to bed and
Right.
I like my own bed. And
So you
like,
usually stay at the track in the camper then?
yeah, all the World Cups apart from obviously Australia and Canada where
It's a long ass drive.
not possible. Yeah, so no, all around Europe I'm in the camper with my girlfriend, and we like try and stock up on food from home and everything that I'm used to, and I believe there's a lot to be said for that, like waking up on a morning at the track, have your own breakfast ready, just have all your own stuff there. It's even if the track's really close, you've got to get up and pack a bag and have your breakfast, and whereas I just wake up there and away we go.
Sense. And it's going to be quite normal for you as well. Obviously, growing up racing in England, you're constantly travelling in the van, and I've never really thought about it like that. But I saw your the dirt interview you did after you won Val di Sole.
Yes.
And you were saying you stayed in the camper. I was like, whoa, no way, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it got a little bit shitty last season though, because there was people other teams having parties in the pits and that, like on school nights. So
right.
It started wearing a little bit thin, and thinking Val di Sole, actually, I spent the night before the race in the team's accommodation because there was people partying in the pits, which I don't really agree with on like the night before the racing. And there's not only me in the pits, there's mechanics from the teams, and all them guys need to get sleep as well. So
yeah, makes sense.
We'll have to see what happens.
No, there should be a little quiet section maybe.
Yeah, or a curfew.
A curfew would be good, yeah. I know I've been there. I remember going to MX Destinations when it was in England, like, God, when was that? I can't remember. It's a long time ago. And it was a party before the event, but it turned into more of a riot. Yeah. And I have no idea how any riders will have got any sleep there at all. I mean, Matley Basin, there's not really much around it, so I'm guessing most of them were sleeping in the rigs.
Yeah.
And
but at least over there, it's on the other side of the valley,
Yeah.
Whereas in Val di Sole, you're all at the bottom of the mountain, and it's just all there, which
just echoes around as well and stuff. But yeah, good move though. That I think sleeping in the camp is that's cool.
Yeah, it's good
for sure. So, training wise, just sort of starting to get moving and whatnot again, or
just getting back into it. Like, I really blew out, if you like, going to Whistler for 2 weeks, and like I really was really strict all last season with my diet, and so I got the chance to just send it for a few weeks.
Did the old Ricky Carmichael?
I did just that, and like, as I'm not saying I'm getting old, but like every year you're only getting older, aren't you? And like trying to get back into shape, like this season I've noticed has been harder than it has been the past few, but we're in good step now. So
good.
Yeah, training hard and doing a lot of riding. So.
Yeah, I know you ride motor and stuff as well, and just mix it up a little bit. You're not too much of a gym freak or anything like that. You just
no, a couple of times a week. Do what you have to do in it. So
fair enough. So I want to wind all the way back to the start of the year. We're not going to go through race by race because that'd be ridiculous.
No.
But it'd be kind of interesting to know. Obviously, like something obviously clicked at the beginning of the season. Do you know what it was? Can you put it down to anything in particular?
The thing is, coming into this season, I missed like quite a few weeks pre-season training due to I crashed on a two-wheeled on my motorbike and hurt my knee quite bad. So I had to have surgery on my knee like a couple of months before the season started, and I went into surgery and I tore my meniscus.
Okay.
And they said if it's less than 50%, we can repair it, and if it's more than 50%, we'll have to stitch it up. So I went into surgery and we didn't know exactly how bad it was.
Okay.
And I came out and they'd just done a little shave of the torn bit. So that was good. That meant it was only like a 3-week recovery.
Right.
So if they'd have had to stitch it, it would have been really bad and I'd have probably missed the first race. So I missed a lot leading up to the first World Cup. And to go to the first World Cup and get on the podium was...
Yeah. Do you think it maybe had like an adverse effect there, which meant that you had maybe a little less pressure on your shoulders, thinking just kind of do the best you can, or?
I guess so, maybe a little bit, but no, I don't think so. I had been riding a couple of weeks still, so I'd done testing in Portugal with Fox, and I knew I was up to speed. So,
right,
but just on fitness, like physical training, we'd missed quite a lot. So, to go there and have a decent start was good. It was a good step to work from.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was. Yeah, obviously you got third in the first round. I think you're only out of the top 5 once all season, I think.
Yeah. Cairns.
Cairns.
I just didn't show up. I don't
Not
know
enough sleep the night before. Oh no! Obviously you didn't drive there.
No.
Not to that.
I qualified really quite well in Cairns for the course, like really pedally and physical, and if any, not my worst track of the year. I qualified in, I think I was 7th, so I was quite happy with that. And then finals came, and we just don't know what happened.
Everyone has
bad
those ones,
day,
unfortunately. So, but I was speaking to Joe Bowman, obviously, who's a mate of mine, and one thing he sort of said, obviously he was at every race, stood on the hill, and he noticed right from the get-go this season you were just on it from like the first run.
Yeah.
Is that something that you like wanted to do? Was it like a goal of yours just to get out from the gate and give it hell?
Yeah, I mean, I had more of a riding plan. I was working with the RMJ Academy, which is a friend of mine who does motocross coaching, and he really disciplined my riding a lot more. Instead of just going out on a weekend and just, let's go for a few runs, like I was, right, you have to work on this, I want you sectioning down, I want you doing this. We always had something to do, and we took that to the race weekend as well, so we were never just like wondering, we always knew, right, you'll start doing this, and by run 3, 4, 5, you'll be on it.
Right.
So we always had a plan.
Richard was a pretty good motocrosser back in his day.
Yeah.
Probably still is, to be honest with you. I've met Richard quite a few times actually. He worked for a distribution company at one point, I think, and I kept seeing him out on the road.
Yeah,
but I noticed that he set up RMJ Academy, and he's got a few staff under him as well, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, he does. Yeah. Quite. There's a few lads working for him.
Okay, that's cool. And I mean, does he ride downhill or anything himself, or is he just putting like a totally new angle on it, coming from a moto background?
No, he just has the discipline of it, and like the same as what he did with the motocross guys. They never just go, like, it's sort of in a way like took the fun away from it because we always had goals instead of just going riding for willy-nilly, if you like, but we had results, so
yeah, ultimately that's what you need, man.
Yeah, so it was good. It was a big turning point for me, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Well, another thing I wanted to sort of ask you as well is, since winning obviously your first World Champs in 2011, have you felt like, or did you put pressure on yourself to get another one? I'm guessing you've been asked that quite a few times, but
it's been a hard few years trying to get back to, well, a hard 5 years, if you like. Like, I won World Champs in 2011, and I wasn't really expected to, and then I got hurt in 2012 with my shoulder, and it took me a long time. Well, this year pretty much I've just come back to where I was. So
Right.
yeah, it's took a lot of getting back to where I wanted to be.
Yeah. Do you think being hurt maybe took the pressure off a little bit or not, or were you still beating yourself up inside wanting to?
Well, when I hurt myself at first, I come back and I was like, right, let's go, let's get back to right where we were. And now in myself, I felt good, and it just didn't happen. I'd obviously lost confidence,
Yeah.
and as well after winning the first World Champs, I was travelling around. I was in Vegas at Interbike. Then Fox wanted me here to film with Roxon, and all this cool stuff happened. And while all that was happening, I was like a little bit overweight, and then I came into 2012 and really wasn't as prepared as I could have been. So
Right. Yeah.
it was becoming world champion was brilliant, and it changed my career totally. And then
I'm guessing other things come along with that there as well,
Yeah.
like media stuff and what.
yeah, just getting dragged from pillar to post. So
Yeah.
it hasn't been so bad this time, because obviously
really?
having a good season leading up to it, I guess maybe it's just been ongoing of media wanting interviews and this and that and the other.
Yeah.
But whereas when I did it the first time, it was like, whoa, it's just gone and he's done
Then
something.
everyone wanted a piece of it quickly.
And so it was a bit crazy.
Yeah, I can imagine. How was that though, filming with Rox? And I bet that was awesome.
Yeah, it was good, and then, like, I'm not going to say it's like a really good friend, but now, like, I went to Unadilla this year and caught up and stuff like that, and it's
pretty cool.
yeah, it's good, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So there wasn't really you weren't putting too much pressure on yourself for those 5 years. You just kind of waited for it to happen. Kind of knew it was coming. Get back to fitness.
It's hard to tell yourself, oh, it will happen when you do feel like you're giving everything at the time. You're like, well, what's going on now? Like, I'm doing everything like I did in 2011, and it's just not happening. And I think the bar's been raised a lot since then with the progression of the bikes. And
Yeah, I was going to say, do you think everyone else also upped the game that little bit
like
in between
there's
that?
lots of guys that have come through from juniors and stuff like that, and they're moving. So it's weird. And the bike's changing so much, and the course is not really changing that much.
Right.
The pace now is so much higher than it was back in the early 2010, 11. So it's changed a lot.
Yeah, you mentioned the tracks then as well. Tracks have obviously changed quite a lot. Well, I don't know. To me, as a spectator, they've changed quite a lot over the last few years, becoming maybe a little bit more bike parky, a lot more TV friendly. Do you think that suits you better, or do you prefer the tight, gnarly technical stuff?
Like, for instance, this year, winning Lenzerheide, like, even that one I'd come in with an injury and hadn't ridden for probably 2 or 3 weeks before then, and went into there with an open mind, thinking, oh, I hope I'm going to be able to ride.
Yeah.
And I hurt myself in Schladming just practicing, and just broke a little bone off my thumb. So we went there, and that track is probably the most bike park of the year. Maybe that one in Leogang.
Right.
And for me to do what I did there was really, really good, because that's not really my forte. If you like, I'm usually like the rougher and the more technical and stuff like that is more me. But to go there and do that was good, and I enjoyed it. It was, if you notice how close the racing was there, though, like me, I won by 0.01, which is nothing.
It's not a lot.
And then for some of the gaps that we've had at the other tracks, I think that shows how it is really.
Yeah, definitely. Times of definitely getting tighter. I mean, those going into an event, it feels like, again, as a spectator, that there's pretty much maybe 10 guys that can possibly win.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
pull out a epic run. But yeah, like you said, I don't know. I mean, tracks for me,
It's all about the thing with the tracks now, that it's a little bit annoying, but it's a blessing as well, is it's Red Bull TV. They Pretty
I heard
much
that's
the guys.
Bike Channel is one of the most popular channels they've got too.
Yeah.
So it's obviously
So
it's
they
working.
need to have the tracks that work for them, and we all have to probably adapt a little bit, which that's how it is, and that's how it is. So
Yeah, for sure.
be...
So do you think they're going to get more bike parky? Do you reckon?
No, well, I really hope not, but
Yeah.
who knows? I think we're going to pretty much the same places next year, and I don't think they'll make them anymore. They can't really do much more, to be fair, to some of them.
No, no. I haven't seen. Is there a schedule out for next year already? Anyway, or not?
Yeah, there is somewhere. I think. I don't think there's any new ones.
Right. Okay. Interesting. But yeah, they're definitely a lot more TV friendly, and I mean the fact that it's Red Bull's biggest channel's pretty cool. Like that's insane.
Yeah, that's crazy with how with the motorcycles and
exactly.
and all them industries.
Like, their surf stuff's huge apparently too, and for mountain biking to be over that's. Yeah,
I always wish that one day that I'll be able to watch, like when my friends watch me racing.
Yeah.
One day I'll be able to watch my friends racing, sit there with a beer and watch it.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, it's so good when we watch it. And I'm thinking, Christ, you want to be there trying to do it. It's a total story, I guess.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's pretty hard, though, for people to put themselves in those shoes.
Yeah.
I can imagine there's quite a lot of pressure, but do you handle the pressure quite well, or you just take it as it comes?
There's one or two races this year where it's been tough, but I came out on top, and so I guess I do. Like my dad often used to say to me, like if he would try and do it, he thinks he would come out the start and just like buckle with the pressure and not be able to do it. Whereas that's obviously where I'm quite good, and I get nervous, and you just go through your routine, do what you do in your head, like visualize and everything like that, and you do what you can, and do what you know works, and that's all you can do. And if you do it right, then
I think, like you were saying before, it's good to surround yourself with stuff that you're familiar with, like having your girlfriend there and stuff all the time. And I'm guessing she's going to be a pretty big help having her around.
She's a massive part. Like even now with training, like and eating, like that's the hardest thing for me, like diet.
Right. Do you have someone on board who helps you with all that stuff, or?
Yeah, I work with someone from Liverpool Uni, James Morhan, a nutritionist, and I worked last year with Steve Smith, who was with the RMG Academy, and they helped me a lot. You know, it opened my eyes, and my body, like composition, if you like, last year was a lot better than it had been in the previous years. So, and Sophia, my girlfriend, really clamps down on me. Like. I always
do sometimes, man. It's good.
It is good, but it sucks sometimes. But it's all for me. So
I didn't realise until I think it might have been yesterday that she's actually a bit of a ripper on a motocross bike, isn't she?
Yeah. Sophia used to race the World Championship. So.
I know. I didn't know that until I saw a Husky promo video, I think, and I was
like, that was it. Yeah.
Bloody hell, she's flying.
Yeah. She's good. Yeah,
she is,
and she's really good on the downhill bike as well. She got 4th at national champs. So.
Oh right.
Yeah, behind Rachel, Manon, and Tani. So.
Wow.
Yeah, so she knows what she's doing.
Yeah, she does. What's your diet like then? Just out of interest, do you stick away from certain food groups or anything like that?
No, not so much.
No?
Just try and eat clean and. Try like my biggest downfall is I like chocolate, and just like we all do, I guess.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
Like November the 1st, I had to try and cut everything out.
Nip
so,
it in the bud.
Yeah.
I'm really into diet myself. I love all that stuff. And I've been following this paleo diet for quite a while now, for like a year. And, it's pretty good.
I don't know how you can be bothered. Like when, if I wasn't having to do something like at the top of the game, I wouldn't be doing anything like this. Like.
Just be doing a Ricky Carmichael and just getting on it.
Yeah, like with driving as well. I don't know how
it's tough, man. I'm not gonna lie, but for me, like I really enjoy that stuff. It's something that I like experimenting with food. I really enjoy cooking too. But when you're driving, as you probably know, like traveling is so hard to eat good, because even in the UK, you're driving. It's like, right, services. There's not really a lot of healthy options in there.
Harry Ramsden's.
Yeah, that's the healthiest thing I think you can get. And I did it before. I used to have a company based in Poland, and I used to drive to and from Poland all the time, and it's impossible to get good food sometimes.
Yeah, it's just you have to meal prep. Hashtag
meal prep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big thing though. Like what you fuel yourself with, and
it's huge.
Like for working out and stuff, you need to maximise your body and what you do. So
it's probably maybe a lot of your competition are probably thinking about it a lot more too these days.
I think like there's a lot more science involved in the training nowadays than you can't get away with, like just going off skill. Not anymore anyway. And gone are them days, I think, because
everyone's elevated just that bit. Diet and nutrition and training's obviously all getting way more scientific, like you said. But it's probably a good thing though for the sport, I think.
Yeah, and as well, like with the tracks getting a little bit easier, if you like, with the bike parky stuff, like we were just saying.
Yeah.
Then the skill base sort of sometimes can go away a little bit, and it's all about fitness and who puts the work in.
Yeah, for sure. And again, like it's very similar in the motor industry. I mean, it's almost now like the battle of the trainers. It feels like it's like, Roxon, for example, is literally up against the guys from Baker's compound. It is becoming the battle of the trainers. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's hope mountain biking kind of doesn't go down that route. I don't know.
I don't think there's the money in it for that to happen. Well, I don't know. I think everyone has a trainer now, but I don't know how in depth people go.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I
but
can imagine it's probably not so cheap to go to Baker's camp for 6 months to a year or whatever.
No, I don't think it is.
Maybe you should send a few emails and see if you can get over there.
I don't think he's got many mountains.
That's true. Yeah, very true.
In Florida.
Oh dear. Media as well. You mentioned that when we spoke on the phone, you'd not really done a great deal of like media since winning World Champs. Obviously, almost like training and stuff and diet, media is becoming a lot more of the sport. Do you think that?
Yeah.
How important is it to you, or is it?
Yeah, the social media is a big part of it. Like I've never had anyone help me with my social media, and I believe it's in a really good place. Like lots of people and
for sure,
stuff like that. And I just struggle with I don't like when you're at a race on a weekend. It'll get to like the Friday night or the Saturday night, and everyone puts the same picture on and the same, practice is unreal and this and that. I struggle with all that stuff. I don't know. It's just, I guess you just have to do it.
Yeah.
But
it's definitely becoming more of the sport, which is kind of a good thing and it's a bad thing. I mean, I think if I was there racing like yourself, I'd want to be focused on actually riding the bike rather than what photos you've put up and how many likes you get in and stuff like that.
Chasing photographers and...
Yeah, exactly.
But it's a big part, obviously, nowadays. There's people getting sponsored off the amount of followers they've got.
It's nuts, it's crazy. And we're kind of guilty for it sometimes, with the company that you do look at, what's your social media presence,
Yeah.
I'm very torn. I'm very, very torn. I mean, I do all the Hookit stuff, obviously, with and having a podcast too, but I'm 50-50, like I say. Sometimes I just want to put my phone down and be like, right, I've finished work, I just want to stop, but then the other time you're like, I'm really enjoying it and stuff, and you kind of have to do it because it keeps your name
you've
out
got
there
to keep in the loop and like even sponsors texting you, look, we need this on for, like today I did Rhino Power for Black Friday sales, and it's not my favourite thing to do, but these sponsors and these help you go racing and they give you the product and you have to do it, and that's pretty much the thick and thin of it. It's not a case of whether you want to or not, you're pretty much obliged to. Yeah,
for sure. So you're sponsored by Rhino, is it called Rhino Power?
Yeah. Rhino sorts me out with all supplements and stuff,
rad.
So yeah, it's good. It's
He's
another
a guy
good person.
Grind back in the days. I've seen a few Instagram videos of him. He trains pretty hard, that guy. Yeah,
he doesn't mess around, I don't think.
No, he don't mess around at all. He doesn't. I mean, I've not heard of him for a little while. I don't know if he's just
No,
maybe
sort
focusing
of gone
on
a little quiet, I guess.
Yeah, the
I
business
think
side
he
of
puts a
things.
lot into the nutrition. He's all about clean and
Right.
clean eating, and all his stuff's like vegan and probably paleo, if you like. It's all sorts. Yeah, he's put a lot into that, I think.
Yeah, for sure. So right, that's that sort of stuff covered, which was interesting. Those we're gonna right, yeah. I don't really know how to word this, but those wins at the end of the season, we're kind of going back now to what clicked. But was there something before those three, like, because they were good wins as well? They weren't just wins; they were good wins. Was there something there that really, really clicked at the end of the season for you?
Well, it's weird. Like, as I said before, I came into Lenzerheide off not riding for a few weeks, and we were a little bit worried of where we were going to be. And I did first practice runs there, and I thought, well, it's really quite sore. And then we knew it was going to be sore to start with, and then my hand came good, and I didn't really do a great deal of riding there, and won qualifying, won the finals, and it just sort of was like a snowball from there. Like, I guess confidence, and it wasn't as such just one thing, I think. So we went from Lenzerheide to Mont Saint Anne, and Mont Saint Anne's always a favourite of mine. Big, rough, really gnarly track, and again there we just, I think I was quite a ways back on qualifying from Aaron, and just went up there and did what I did, and he had a good run. I think that was probably the most fair race of the year, if you like.
Right. With
Lenzerheide was not the best track, but everyone's racing the same track, I guess. There was good, and then Andorra was a real tough one. You know, like, I think I got a little bit ahead of myself with practice because the track's really good, and I was all over it, just loved riding. And then the track got like way blown out over the weekend and really dry, and really like the turns all just went away, and it got harder as the weekend went on, and I was struggling a lot. And I think I crashed in qualifying, or no, didn't crash in crashed in time training, like quite a big crash, knocked myself a little bit, and then from then on through to qualifying, I didn't qualify very well neither. And then Rich Mike was there Rich Mike Jones was there, and he had like a stern word and said, look, you go up there, you do what you can. If you crash, you crash. If you crash and I can see that you're giving 100%, then I'll take my hat off to you. If you go up there and you ride half-assed and do a shit job, then I'll be pissed off. So I went up there, put 100%, did what I did, and won the race. You know, there was a little bit of rain and stuff like that, but I still did a really good time. Even I had rain as well, so
yeah, just got the job done.
And then Val de Sol, I'd been there practicing for a few days before Andorra, so I had a little bit of an advantage there. I knew what to expect, and when I went there for the few days before, it was quite eye-opening after the tracks that we'd ridden through the season, like we said, being more bike parky. That one couldn't be as far away from a bike park if we tried.
Yeah,
it was like them 3 days. Them 3 days I was there before, like, was a real big help. But the thing is, everyone could have been there. You know, it was just open. The chairlift was open, and
right.
gondola, but there wasn't really many guys there. No one was there, to be fair. And I went there, did some homework, and then knew what to expect when we went back. We had the bike already set up, and just from day one was just hit the ground running. Yeah. So,
for sure.
And like, I've watched.
No one else headed over there, though, isn't there?
I think there'd maybe been people there, but like, I don't know if anyone had did like a proper camp there. So. No, and then it was just a perfect weekend, you know. Like, I watch that back now, and like I'm not even afraid to say I make it look like it was flat, you know. And it was.
Oh man, it was a hell of a run.
The bike was set up great, and everything just clicked.
Yeah. It's good, man. 2 British guys on the podium. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And
3
Laurie's
months.
run was insane too, man.
Yeah.
That was something else.
Watching Laurie reminded me of myself of like
Yeah.
2011 and
For
2010. So it was good to see. And then all 3 on the podium were Mondrakers. So that was I don't think that's ever been done, and I don't know if it will ever be done again. You know, it was quite a weekend for Mondraker.
Huge. How far off like a stock bike is yours?
You can go and buy it.
Really?
It's just a large frame, and yeah, that's it.
Right. Obviously, a few tweaks to suspension, factory suspension.
Yeah. But even the suspension that Fox do straight out the box, like that shock on the bike is, I think, pretty much a stock shock with just the clickers out how we have them, and the fork may be a little different, but nothing too drastic.
Wow, that's good to know. I know, obviously, YT were claiming with Gwyn that he was riding a bike straight out of the box.
Yeah, I think the bikes are that good now that
yeah,
you pretty much can. So it's
again,
crazy.
without going too much into it, you know, isn't it weird how it's so different in moto? Like,
yeah.
that is a chalk and cheese bike, and it's like rally cars and stuff. It's just totally different. It's
it's
nothing
engines,
like what you buy.
They don't have to pedal them.
No, that's very true.
They've got these big engines, and I think
Very true.
Yeah, with motocross, they're getting so much out of them bikes, and like I'll stand on the side of a downhill track and I'll watch, and then I'll stand on the side of a motocross track and watch like the fast boys, and I'm just like, it's amazing what these bikes are doing, mountain bikes and motocross bikes, like the forces and everything that's getting put through them, and they just laugh at it. It's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. No, things have definitely come a long way to where they are now. Again, I can relate that back to motor. I mean, the EFI stuff and all that sort of thing. It's just crazy. I don't know. Is there much more that can really go into a downhill bike? I mean, you kind of keep saying that, but I don't know. They seem to be pretty good where they're at the minute.
Yeah, like I
Maybe
get on my
electric
bike.
shifters and stuff, but
Yeah, I think like Shimano have done the electric stuff for cross country, haven't they? And
yeah.
I guess it's not even that big of a thing for them to probably do. I don't know, but I don't know how they can change the like. I don't know what the next big thing is, if you like, but
no, me either. I'm not sure.
keep changing the wheel size, don't they? So
yeah.
But no, it's in a really good place. Like I get on my bike every time and I ride it, and I'm like, this thing's just unbelievable. Like I wouldn't change anything. So
Awesome.
that's going to be good for me going into next year. So
yeah, another year on the bike. So
yeah.
And I'm guessing the 2017 version's quite similar to what you've been riding anyway.
Yeah, it's the same, I think. Yeah,
Right.
we'll probably change a few little parts, but the bike's going to be
Much
just
of
the
much
same.
the sort
I
of thing.
think. Yeah.
Rad. So Hamesterley, something we need to get into. What's I want to start from the beginning with that, really. I mean, how did the whole Hamesterley thing happen? What is it? Is it a takeover? I'm going to be a total novice on this. I have no idea.
So, Hamesterley to me is like a huge, like it's been a huge part of my career with Craig Hunter up there, who's been running it for as long as I've been going there.
Right.
And like,
are you local to Hamesterley too, right?
I'm like an hour.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's
right, okay.
It's not on the doorstep, but it's the closest place to ride the downhill bike.
Yeah.
It's a huge, like, it's been massive to me. I couldn't have done it without the help of Craig and everybody up there. And I think Craig just got a little bit over it, and as you probably would if you've been there for as many years as he has, and he wanted out, and I saw it as a good opportunity for me and my dad to go in there and take over, if you like.
Awesome.
So it's my dad running it primarily at the moment, like obviously with me racing and training, and I don't have the time to be up there all the time. So
right, okay. So as it is now, have you made any like big changes to it?
We've got a couple of new buses, and we've done a bit of coaching and stuff like that, and just tidying it up, you know, like we've tidied the cabin out a little bit. And at the moment, because it's already, this is like hard. The hard thing is, it's everybody always raves about it and says how good it is, and there's already so many tracks up there that it's going to be hard to go in and like rewrite it, if you like. We just need to go in, and as time goes on, we'll just work away at things. And another thing what's hard to tell is this time of year is always busy.
Yeah.
Like with it being everybody's getting their bikes back out, and so it's hard to tell if it's really busy. But like at the moment, it is busy, if you like. The lifts are full, and
there's
it's
no
really
let off.
good.
I mean, I went to Bike Park Wales on Tuesday, last Tuesday, and it was raining. It was miserable, man, but it was stacked. I mean, it's a Tuesday morning. I was there at 10 a.m. for a meeting, and it's like, wow, it's amazing to see mountain biking's in a good place. You know, there's people there riding, doing the thing.
It's good. I was at Revolution on Saturday, and then we went over to Black Mountain Cycle Centre on Sunday, and and the weather, it's just horrible, and it's people just mad for it, and it's really, I think the country is unreal for downhill mountain biking, and I strongly think that's why we've got probably 5 of the top 10 can be British on any given weekend. So
I think we're in a good place right now. Like I say, that the insurgence of bike parks has definitely really helped. It's helped the industry for sure.
Yeah, totally.
You know, especially when you get around that sort of area like Wales and stuff. I mean, it's just pumping for mountain biking, and
it's crazy.
But where you're from as well is pretty good anyway. You know, when I visit stores up in Newcastle, it's always busy, I guess.
We have a good community up here. You know, everybody's friendly, and anyone will help anyone out. So it's good. Yeah,
for sure. It's obviously, again, it's similar in Sheffield. There's so much riding around here, with the Peak District being on our doorstep, and you know, there's been what's it called, Parkwood, which is pretty much in the city centre and stuff. There's loads happening. It's awesome. So have you got like some major plans for the future then with Descend? Descend Bike Park, isn't it?
We want to try and take the coaching to the next level, if you like, and do a lot more of that. I'd like to try and build a new track, but at the moment with the weather and everything, it's hard, and finding the space up there, because there's already so much, it's quite difficult, like I said. So at the moment we'll probably just end up revamping some of the tracks that we've got. But no, obviously in time we'd like to have some races and stuff. I think my dad already has a couple of races planned with promoters for next year, so
awesome.
that's
cool.
Looking good.
That's cool. That's good, man. And you know, it'd be cool if you could make it into like a facility like Bike Park Wales is, where it's
totally.
It's a straight day out for people. You know, they book on the uplift, and they got the cafe and all that sort of stuff up there. You know,
that's good. And the forestry up at Hamesterley are good as well. I know the forestry gets a lot of flack for one thing or another over the years, but they're really willing to help, so that's good.
That's awesome. No, all the best with it, man. It's an awesome move, I think.
It's good.
So, Moto Chat. Nah, I don't know. Yeah. Moto Chat. I want to talk Moto a little bit because I love it. Anaheim 1's coming up. So, have you got any predictions for A1?
Well,
this is more me, just personally. I just want to know.
I guess after watching the Monster Cup and seeing Roxon do what he did on a brand new bike, I think it'd be hard to. You won't be counting him out, but I think he's the guy. And 250s, I haven't really been watching much, but I guess as 450 Muskin as well, it's been like he came to France and did that race there, and then straight rhythm. He was unbelievable, to be fair.
Very good straight rhythm. It was like real good. No, I think it's gonna be an interesting season, man. I think. I always get pumped for Supercross season. Though I'm a huge moto fan.
I get into it at the start and like, right, I need to go home and watch it after being riding or something somewhere, and then the season draws out and I just sort of lose a little bit of interest.
I
guess because it gets.
But it's not easy to watch it either. It'd be nice if it was just on like TV, but it's always kind of difficult to find something.
I
remember back in the day, it used to be on Channel 5 and used to stay up until like 3 a.m. to watch it.
Put it on the video. Record it on the VCR.
They're good times. But yeah, I think hopefully Stuart does something. For me, I'm kind of rooting for that guy. I'm still a Stuart fan.
Yeah, I guess so. It's just whether he can be bothered, I think.
I think so. And he's gone blue, which is insane. Gone on a blue bike. It's nuts.
Is that official? Is that happened? I've seen him being riding one, but you never know what they're doing, do you?
No, you don't. It could be a total curveball when he turns up on something something else on an electric bike or something. Who knows?
That was impressive.
It was. That was progression of the sport. Not sure if it's in a good way, but
yeah, that's scary progression.
Yeah, that is huge. It's absolutely massive. But yeah, something else I wanted to ask you as well, again on a personal level. Obviously, apart from yourself, because you always say yourself. Have you got a favourite rider? I'm talking downhill here, by the way.
I guess like coming from being young and watching Petey race.
Right.
Petey's got to be like the guy, hasn't he? You know, like
yeah,
he's been there from like I've told the story a few times. It was Coombe Sydenham. I was a juvenile, probably like 11, 12, and I crashed on a jump, and Petey stood above me, like helping me up. I'm like, oh no way, that's Steve Peake. But and then now, like you got a relationship with these guys, and it's cool. You know, I like what he's done over the years and how he's took it to this level, and can always go to him for advice, and he's I think Steve's probably my favourite rider, and I'm sure he'll still be around for a few years.
Yeah, I think so. It sounds like
I don't think he can break himself away from it.
You can't get away that easily from it, I don't think.
After all them years.
No, exactly. I'm guessing he's going to be around quite a bit, especially with the syndicate and stuff, and yeah, he's not going anywhere. I think Joe said that as well about Steve. He's like, yeah, it was kind of sad to see him do his last race run, but you know, he's not going anywhere. He's still here.
No,
you know, obviously for us, he's still in Sheffield. He's still kind of around the corner from where we're based and stuff. And,
still be raising a glass.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be raising a glass.
Or 12.
Right. We don't want to keep you too much longer, man. But obviously we put out some listener questions. I still get freaked out saying... No, I still get freaked out saying listener, dude. It's so weird. The fact that we have listeners still totally trips me out. And it was rad to see that so many people commented on your Instagram and your Facebook. Your personal Facebook took a bit of a hammer in, so we're not going to use any of them. But but yeah, it's awesome to see people reach out and want to know things. So I just picked a few, like, simple ones. We got one off DM Vardy on Instagram. So at DM Vardy, and he said, can you talk more about your change in training last year? What preparation, hang on, I can't read my own writing. What proportion are you, right, I'm going to start this again, man, sorry, my handwriting's terrible, it's the end of the day. Right, can you talk more about your change in training last year? What proportion were you road, DH and trail, and what kind of strength movements do you practice?
Christ.
It's a three-parter.
This is a big one.
It is.
So, downhill, I was doing a lot of downhill last off season, and like I said earlier, with more goals instead of just going out riding. And like, I'll go to like Revs or Hamesterley or wherever, and see people riding, and then like they'll ride a different track every run, and they'll just ride, and they'll get to the end of the day and they've had a good time, but they've not learned anything or they've not got any better. So I'll go somewhere and I'll try and I'll learn a track, then I'll do timed runs and push on instead of just riding on a jolly, if you like. And then so training in the gym, I just did. Like, I have a watt bike here at home, so that's a massive part of my training for power outputs and just power outputs, really. So that's a massive thing that I work on. And working out of Liverpool, John Moore Uni last year, there was a lot more science involved, and I use an app called Training Peaks, which I have to log on a morning, like the colour of my pace and how tired I am, like how I slept, and if I'm aching or if I'm sore. So then that for the guys at the uni, like, gives them a graph over the months and tells them like if I'm overtraining, if you like. So there was a lot.
Their app that they've developed.
No, it's an app that the Sky team developed.
Right, so, that's cool. Training logs. Yeah.
So and then they put all my training in that, and I just put what I did, like the power outputs, and then for instance, what I bench pressed or what I squatted, or in the gym. So there's just a lot more science behind the training than just, I'm going to go to the gym for a couple of hours, or I'm going to go.
You need a direction, especially at your level. You need to know where you're aiming at, for sure. And then I'm guessing you aim to sort of peak just as you're coming into the first round, I guess, and then just maintain all the way through.
Try and peak like 3 or 4 times through the season, so you'll go up and down. And like I picked races, what for me were like big races. So like for instance, the first World Cup, you want to start and you want to be like on form, and then like Monson and Fort William. And with the World Cup, sometimes it's quite a big gap, so you can end up peaking for each World Cup. Whereas if you got a few together, you just like try and mold them into one. So, but yeah, it's and trail riding. To be fair, like in the winter up here, like it's hard to get out and get like productive.
It's grim.
So I'll spend more time, to be fair, on the road bike, because if I go out trail riding, it's washing your gear, washing the bike. It's just, and then the trails are just muddy and horrible, and you just don't really get much done. So I'll just get out on the road bike and hammer it out for a couple of hours. And like tonight, I was in the gym doing running because the weather's not been so good here. So instead of going out on the road bike today, I went and did just a 5k run in the gym. And running's good because it's like if you do half an hour run, it's the same as probably doing a 2-hour road cycle, you know. So.
Yeah, I've been running quite a bit actually lately. I like it. I like just throwing my headphones in and just going for a run. I usually just listen to something.
Once you get a little bit of fitness up, then running's actually quite good fun. But if you're not as firing, then it can be a bit grim.
Yeah, it can definitely be brutal. Like anything, though, it's the same with mountain biking. I think once you're at a decent level of fitness, it's enjoyable. Whereas, you know, I know when I've had like a few years out of riding, you get back into it and you go out with your mates and you just at the back, legs are burning.
Yeah.
Not good fun at all. I mean,
I'm
guessing you've not experienced that for a while, but trust me, man, it sucks. It's not good.
Well, in fact, like a couple of weeks ago, I went out around Cannock Chase with James Ellison and James Rispoli. Okay. And Ellison's like renowned for just being in the great shape, like 52 weeks every, and mate, round there it's just relentless. Have you done Cannock Chase?
Yeah, a long time ago though.
And
the beast.
I was sick of my life. Like he'd proper like fueled up and everything. I'd woke up, had a bowl of porridge, then went riding at like midday and was just bonked.
Really? There's nothing worse. It's nice to know that the world champ bonks though, man.
Now,
we've all got hope.
I'd be a little better now. I've been doing a bit of work, but no, the first week, it really sucked.
Sometimes you need to do that though to see where you're at.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You need to go out. You need to get to the limit and be like, I can do work. Yeah, definitely a check. Right. Next question was at Alexis Cali Girl 29. Not jealous if she's from Cali at all, to be honest, especially at the minute with this weather. But what's your favourite part about racing?
My favourite part about racing, winning, which I haven't really done a great deal of the past few years. But
you made up for it there at the end, right?
Winning them last few races was good, like, and just all the work just pays off. And then also travelling around, like we were in Cairns. And it's just like being in paradise, like beautiful.
Do you enjoy the travelling then?
Yeah, I do. I would say, yeah. It can wear a little bit thin, like if you've been away for a while, or like I said, like Val di Sole, I just won World Champs. Then I had to drive home for 24 hours. I was like, oh god. And then I was only home for 2 days. Then I flew off to Canada on holiday, if you like. So that was quite tough. But like before, like in that World Champs and Andorra trip, we went to Lake Garda for a few days.
Nice.
It was just great, you know, like a few days off. I was still training a bit, but on a bit of a downtime, it was just really nice to be there. The problem is you don't really get, it's not a problem, but you don't really go on holiday, if you like, where people think, oh, you're having a great time, but no, you're
still there working at the end of the day. You know, and travelling's hard. It's relentless. It's hard on the body too, I think. real hard, especially when you're driving all those miles. I mean, driving's really tough. Even if you're a passenger, I find that it's still hard work.
Yeah, even if you're asleep in the van, it's not like you're having a good sleep. So.
No, you're not in a deep sleep at all. You're just hovering around. It's
yeah.
Cool. So winning, lovely. Next one, Instagram again at Steel City Media. You might know Joe, but he wanted to know: do you miss riding a Balfour?
I tell you what, that bike, was it that one? No, one just like that. They changed the name. I did like unbeaten season on them bikes.
Really?
It was spinning. Yeah, like when I was a kid, you had like Josh and a few guys like on Orange with PE, and it took me like a while to get on like a premier bike, if you like.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of support from small niche brands,
Right.
and then I think the first like proper bike I went on was the Lapierre, and the Balfour was good. In fact, a few months ago, I was maybe last winter actually, I was like, I want to recreate this bike.
Right.
I looked on Pink Bike to see if I could find one, and I found one. It was in Darlington. I went there and bought it, got the frame, a couple of £100 I gave the guy. I got it home, stripped it all down, had it powder coated the same colour, and that's as far as it went. Like, I had this great idea I was going to do it, and
You need to finish it
it's
off.
so hard to find bits.
Yeah. Where do your bikes go then? Where did yours go?
That probably
Remember?
went back to Balfour.
Right,
I probably
okay.
had to sell it back then.
Yeah. My mate had one. Rob, he had an orange. I can't remember the model, but I think it was like a tank. Definitely didn't crack it.
I got Steve's wife's, so Adele's Patriot, from when she was on Animal Orange, and I used to be sponsored by Animal. So that was my first proper downhill bike. I got it all painted in like animal colours. It was class.
That's sick. Cool. So you do miss riding the Balfour then, just to sum up. You miss it.
I wish I could go back to being that age.
Yeah, don't we all, mate? Don't we all? This growing up stuff's tough, isn't it? Who'd have thought one day you'd own a bike park, and it's tough. It's tough. Right, last one, man. Is I struggled with this guy's name for a bit, but I think I figured it out. It's at Ewan MacDonald on Instagram, and he wanted to know, what advice would you give to a 12-year-old like me? Not me, like him, obviously.
Yeah, I saw that question actually.
Did you?
No, that's a good one, because
I thought it was pretty good.
it's when you're that age, you've just got to enjoy riding, and as you enjoy riding, going out with your friends riding as well, and not necessarily just trying to win races and get sponsored. It's all about just having fun. Like now, I think there's so many kids that just want to be sponsored and get stuff free, and they're not there. They're not about just going and riding. They feel like they should be sponsored, and I just don't know if that's how it should be. And I think it's all about just having fun riding. You don't need the most expensive downhill bike and all the gear. Just a nice little bike to get you going and go out there and just progress. It's just, that's the thing. As you get better, people will see you, and you'll get hooked up with sponsors, and it's not all
Let
about.
it come organically. Don't push it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like up Hamesterley now, there's so many kids that, can you sponsor me? Can you do this? And it's just ride, just go out there.
Yeah.
And
Do you think it's important as well to do like some training stuff, like get the groundwork really good, so you got your technique down, and then progress from there?
Yeah, I think the coaching's always good. There's kids out there that think they're really good, and then they'll come on a day with, I've done coaching, and they'll come with me, and it's just little things like from line choice to where you have your feet on the pedals to looking forward. All these things just clean their riding up a little bit, and if they just put that into their riding, they'll enjoy it more, and they'll be safer, and they'll end up going faster.
Yeah, for sure. Sweet. Good advice. Loves it. So I usually try and keep these things to around an hour, and that's where we're at right now. So probably cool just to wrap up. But before we kind of wrap up, have you got like anything coming up? Have you got any training days available people can book onto, or anything like that?
At the minute, it's hard to plan the training days with like so much stuff coming up. But with Facebook on the bike park page, it's all goes up on there. So
cool.
that's
and what's that? It's Descent Bike Park, is it?
No, it's Danny Hart I'll have to just double check.
Let's check. We'll give
Danny
it a shout
Hart's
out.
Descent Bike Park, I think. I should really have had this, shouldn't I?
It's all good. Don't worry about it. But whatever it is, people go follow it, and as well go follow Danny if you don't already.
Danny Hart's Descend Bike Park on Facebook, and then
Sweet.
yeah. So my athlete page is Danny Hart fan page. So
Sweet, and you're on Instagram at DannyHart1.
that's it, and Twitter's all the same. I think
Sweet.
Twitter's dying a little bit. I'm struggling with Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter's. Yeah, I've been thinking that for a little while too. This time last year it seemed to be pretty good, but it's definitely going off the boil a little bit now. And for me, Instagram's just where it's at the minute. Instagram's doing it. It's how we ended up getting in touch, and Instagram seems to be where it's at. So right, thanks for that, man. Much appreciated. Awesome to catch up. And hopefully let's do another one like in the middle of the season or something. And see where you're
sure.
at.
Hope it kicks off for you.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it, and have a good evening.
Cheers, bud.
Cheers, dude. See you later.
See you now.
Bye-bye. Boom. There we go, podcast fans. Another one in the bag. I really enjoyed that episode. It's awesome to sit and chat to Danny. It's kind of amazing to hear what goes on behind the scenes of a World Cup downhill rider. Some of the plans for Descend Hamesterley, Danny Hart's bike park are really good too. And again, thanks ever so much, everyone out there that's listened. It's always amazing to hear the feedback and stuff. But if you have got any feedback, if you want to, I don't know, recommend some guests, anything, just hit us up. It's at the Hookit Podcast, obviously on Instagram and Facebook. You can drop us an email too. Something we also did recently, which I'm not sure if you guys are aware of. If you are struggling to find our episodes, if you go to our website, which is hookitproducts.co.uk, click the About section, and then you'll see there's a podcast link, so you can get every episode right there. Some are better than others, I'm not going to lie. I was chatting to Danny before we actually went live, and was saying how hard it was to work out actually how you make a podcast in the beginning. But we seem to be up in the game a little bit these days, and they're actually getting listenable. So it's all good. Again, we're going to be doing a giveaway Sunday evening, so make sure you give us a follow, check that out. Sunday evening, there will be a giveaway of something signed by Danny Hart. And again, thanks for listening. Drop us a share, a like, comment, anything you can do. A review on iTunes is the best thing. None of those 4-star reviews or 3. We always want a 5-star review if you can. It really helps get the podcast known and helps it build. And we couldn't be doing this without you guys. It's much appreciated. So, have a great evening. Hopefully you enjoy it. We're out. Peace.